Here I am, in the place to be. Mr. K&B, you can't fuck with me. Extra sexy, extraordinary. Palms are hairy, your mama pop.
What up, y'all? K&B the Section Ninja.
I'm Doug.
We're a little late, but we are going to talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi, the last two episodes, part 5 and 6. And I will say this off the bat, the best of the 6th.
Yeah. I mean, not that it was a bad show, but I don't think that's like really a high bar. I think it was better than pretty much any individual episode of the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, it was like, what did I say? That was the most Star Wars I ever got in Star Wars. Mm-hmm. Just because with these new shows, because I just heard Andor is going to be 2 seasons, 12 episodes each.
I couldn't care much less about Andor, to be honest.
And I'm just like, you're giving me something that I'm like, okay, that's cool, but it's nothing I really asked for a show that I already know this character's fate. Even though that's sort of like with Obi-Wan and Boba Fett. But
Obi-Wan has 1 season. Boba Fett technically takes place after his fate.
Yeah.
So we got to see a little more in the... Because the cool thing about Boba Fett, at least, was in the Legends comics, he lived. You didn't really know he lived in Disney's universe.
Yeah,
so it's nice to have like confirmation on that. But we got that in The Mandalorian, of course.
Yeah, but real quick before we start, did you watch that Clerks 3 trailer?
No, I haven't watched that yet.
Okay, you need to, because I would love to talk about it. Very meta.
Yeah.
But yeah, I gotta say, with his last 2 episodes, I really enjoyed the fact that we got to see more Vader and Obi-Wan, coming at each other. Mm-hmm. And I really enjoyed that aspect, especially with the battle when he cut his helmet.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not your failure, Obi-Wan, Anakin's no longer here, and it's just like, damn.
Yeah. No, and it is funny a bit that it's trying to backtrack on so many things that were like slight, I don't want to say plot holes, but slight issues a lot of people had with the original trilogy and stuff like that. Like, at least A New Hope, when Obi-Wan calls him Darth, or justifying when Obi-Wan says that Vader killed Anakin Skywalker. And you're like,
I kind of got that a long time ago when I watched the prequels, because I had an imagination.
Yeah,
I didn't need it kind of fed. You know what I mean? Like,
well, no, it takes away, honestly, I think, from a little bit of in Return of the Jedi when Obi-Wan's explaining it, when it's just like, well, it was true from a certain point of view, and you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. You did not need to show us. It's honestly, it's like Rogue One.
Oh my God.
With the plans. No, just that's all I'm saying. It's like that with the plans, where we had our imagination of how that was, and they put it on, this is how it is. And you're like, okay, was that necessary though?
Well, that goes into also, we need something new. We can't backtrack. Even though Andor is something new, it's also something that I was just like, when they announced that he had a show, I was like, and they're like, it's going to be like the Jason Bourne of Star Wars, and I'm like, what does that...
want Jason Bourne in Star Wars?
What does that fucking mean?
Isn't Jason Bourne of Star Wars pretty much just like any of the Jedi characters? Because they're like, oh...
Well, I think more or less like spy thriller, I don't know. We'll see. I know we'll watch it.
Yeah, to be completely honest, Disney in multiple facets, but specifically with Star Wars, is losing me a lot in all of this stuff where they're telling stories from inside this universe where we already know what's going on.
Yeah, to legends, to comics, to just even straight out nerd talk. Like we stand in front of the theater like, oh man, I wonder how this happened. And that imagination of ours is, thinking of all these things. Do you think like that's what I'm scared for kids today, especially my kids for the future, that imagination, being creative, is not going to be a thing. And, especially when it comes to nerd culture and to, like, talking about movies and stuff like that, and everything's kind of just fed.
I think speculation, not necessarily imagination, but speculation is going to go further and further. Because, it's on that idea of there will always be imagination. That's just part of being human. But as far as the means and ability to speculate in how we are, how something is, you know? Because there's years and years ago, people would talk about, you know, well, what is the Force? And they tried to scientifically explain that. So that speculation kind of went out the window.
Midichlorians.
Yeah. You know, what happened, you know, to Luke after the Death Star exploded? Well, we had the Legends comics, but, you know, we also had speculation. And then, no. Like, that's what's being taken away, is the ability in a canonical thing to, you know, speculate further without there being concrete, like, this is exactly what happened. So, you know, it's you know, in movies, we enjoy a lot of what something means. You know, you watched the end of Infinity War, that snap, when everyone disappeared, we were just like, oh shit, what does this mean?
Man, I just remember, like, and there was no mid-credit, there was no end-credit scene.
Well, there was a mid-credit. There was...
Was there?
The Captain Marvel thing with Nick Fury with the pager.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't that towards the end, though?
No, I'm fairly certain that was mid-credit.
Man,
I don't know if it was...
It's a busy street.
I know. I don't know if it was... It was one of the credit scenes, though.
I think it was the end. Because there was nothing in the... I know there was nothing in the middle. Okay. Because those credits just rolled on, and we're like, what is this over? And and that somber, like, silence of music that was, you know, it was like, wait, oh my god, what happened?
No, I think you're right. I think it was end credit, because I think the very last thing on the screen is that Captain Marvel pager pick, and then gone.
Yeah, and he's like, oh,
yeah,
but
mother.
Yeah, and I was, real quick sidebar. I was talking to somebody about Marvel. And everyone's like, yeah, I'd watch this. Doctor Strange was okay. Blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, my problem is, where are we going?
Yeah. No, that's the truth. Is as far as big time things in Marvel, the only anything we got was in the Loki show with King the Conqueror.
Yeah.
Besides that, we've gotten Multiverse of Madness ended with a did Scarlet Witch blow herself up, did she not thing, and then American Chavez being part of the Sorcerers. Then you cut to Spider-Man No Way Home. That ends with just Spider-Man's story being reset.
Yeah. And that's the problem that I have. Is like, I was like, I don't know where we're going. Like, with the last three phases, like, well, the first three phases is like we were building to Endgame.
It was the Infinity Saga.
Yeah, we were building to this mega ending. And now it just feels like we're cherry picking what we can of characters to throw out there and throw at people that have no real connection.
Well, you know what? Let's take that, because we were talking about Star Wars. We're supposed to be talking about Star Wars. Let's take that to Star Wars with Episode 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah,
where we kind of lost focus on all of that, because in Episode 7, you have, oh my gosh, they have Starkiller Base. Oh, it's gone. Okay, well, what about the First Order?
They just have they got weird planners who build these things that just the overlooks.
Yeah, well, but then in Episode 8, it's Supreme Leader Snoke is dead. So where are we going in all of this? Kylo Ren is in charge. Kylo Ren, for the most part, has been the one in charge in both these movies. Like, the first movie was like 90% Kylo being in charge. And then when we go to Episode 9, it's like, oh, Palpatine's back. You're like, where the fuck did this come from?
It was like, I remember Force Awakens. I was like, oh, and I remember losing my buzz, like my high, when Han died. I was like, oh, we killed Han. Okay, I guess. So we won't see them all back together again. We saw him and Leia. That's cool. But I want Luke there too. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, fine, whatever. Then the second one rolls around, they're like, Snoke dead. You're like, oh, well, then what was his fucking purpose? Like,
yeah. No, well, like going to all of the other things. We'll go in chronological order. Episode 1, Palpatine was like obviously evil in that first one, and you see him still around at the end, like puppeteering everything. Episode 2, Count Dooku even escapes, and they're left at their lowest. Episode 3 happens, and then Palpatine actually takes over. And, like, there was never a part where there wasn't an established threat going on. Then you go to Episode 4, they blew up the Death Star, but they were aware that the Empire still existed. And at the end of that, they were just on, like, they were the Resistance and Rebellion. The Rebellion was there. Episode 5, they end up on a losing note. Like Han, frozen in carbonite. Luke lost his arm and got his ass kicked by Vader. The fleet of rebels, they're on the run. Then episode 6 ends on a happy note. The Empire's been destroyed. They killed the Emperor. They blew up the second Death Star. And they, for all intents and purposes, killed Darth Vader.
I've been reading deep into how the First Order was born. It really doesn't make sense. Because, like, yeah, they're basically just piggybacked and like, we're now the First Order. That's why when in Rise of Skywalker, execute the final order. I'm like, really? Yeah. We could be like a little bit more clever with that, like Order 66, but you're gonna be like, we have the First Order and we have the final order.
Yeah, no, but that's the thing is like episode 7, 8, and 9 lost so much focus on kind of what telling the story was, where it's because it was a story of Rey, a lot about Rey.
Was it though?
Well, I mean, the first one was.
The first one, definitely, we got introduced to this new character, Rey, Finn, Poe, who was supposed to be our new Luke, Han, and Leia. Then in the second one, they're like, let's split them up. And let's give you a character that doesn't mean shit named Rose that everyone's going to hate. And then
they also gave us DJ.
Yeah, DJ, who meant shit.
Then Admiral Holdo.
Then
a lot.
You built up Phasma as this like ultimate fucking trooper.
Did they?
No, remember the trailers though. Remember how they're like, oh my god, we got a silver one. Oh yeah, we got this badass right here.
See,
and
I was kind of hoping, to be completely honest. Sorry, real quick to interject on Phasma. I was really hoping that the armorer from The Mandalorian was Phasma. Like, because this takes place between episodes 6 and 7.
Yeah.
That she ended up joining the First Order. And that's why she's wearing, you never see your face. And she's always wearing what looks to be Beskar armor.
You know what that is, right?
It's not Beskar. I know it's not. But
it's, she took it off the Naboo ship. Like, remember the big silver?
Yeah. Not Padme's, obviously, because that had its own story behind it. But.
Yeah, so that's where, they kind of try to connect that, because I read the Phasma book, and that was the thing. Yeah. And that's where she got her armor, because she grew up in this, like, basically like Thrawn. Remember how Thrawn was, like, in the jungle? Like they explained he came from the jungle and stuff like that. That's where she came from, more of a savage planet like that. And then the Empire came, and then she, like... You find out that she just likes to play people. Like
Tarkin, too, then.
Yeah, like Tarkin.
Like, all of the people that are in charge need to come from, except for Hux.
Hux? Is it Hux?
I think it's Hux.
That's Hux. But yeah, but with the sequel trilogy, and then you get to the third one, and it's kind of like, fuck the rest of the story. We're just going to say Palpatine's back. We're going to make sure that you understand that at the end of this movie, she's a Skywalker, because she just claims it by name. And everything that you wanted in the return of everybody. And and I know it was sad when Carrie passed away. Very, very sad.
Very sad.
And you couldn't do anything about that. Like, they had to write Leia off in some form or way, and it was weird, but it was kind of like, okay, here we go, because in the last one, you're like, oh no, we're going to show her use her Force powers, and the Mary Poppins memes that came from that.
I really love Princess Leia as a character, Leia Organa. That has a lot of cards. Leia Organa as a character. It just kind of makes me so sad that the only bit of any training we ever get from her is that one blaster shield covered thing in the forest with her and Luke.
Oh, running around, and then she decided, I don't want to do this no more.
Yeah, I don't want to do this no more. And you're like, okay, well, no, and I'm just glad they didn't Peter Cushing's it from the Rogue One.
Oh,
where they just make the CGI person, and you're like, which again is what they. I know what they did in The Mandalorian.
It's kind of what they did with with Leia, because there were scenes that they had to shoot and they used her daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can obviously tell there were scenes that they took from other shots that were like, okay, that I know Rey's talking to Leia, but I know Rey, that's not a scene where she's talking to somebody, you know.
See, and I really, well, man, we are way off subject. I mean, we're in the same universe, but still off subject. But I really wish they had simply, because she passed before The Last Jedi came out. If they had just let her pass away when Kylo shot her in space, just ended that there, and then
really turning him to, like, I remember like that scene right there when he was about to blast him. I was like, damn, dog, you just killed your dad. Now you're going to fucking kill your mom. I'm like, how dark are we going to go with this character, you know? And
but then he doesn't do it, and then someone else shoots it and blows it up. So I feel like that, if that had killed his mom, could have built some resentment in him between him and the First Order. And then ultimately one of the reasons he kills Snoke is because, you know, it was one of Snoke's troopers that killed his mom.
I remember in Force Awakens, I was like, who's this Snoke guy?
Everyone was like that.
We were all like, God damn, he looks so eerie and this and that. Cut in half.
Sliced in half. And you're like, is he actually dead? Oh, he's actually dead.
Oh, no, Palpatine made him. Yeah.
He's a clone of,
He's a mini clones of clones, and
But no, so ultimately we're talking about all things that are kind of wrong with Star Wars.
But Obi-Wan, I feel... I don't want a season 2.
No, me neither.
But there's talks of a season 2.
Yeah, it's because it's popular.
Yeah.
That's the dumb thing, is something is popular, and even though a second season doesn't make sense, they want to make a freaking second season.
I feel satisfied with what I got.
Yeah.
That was a one-shot story that I got, and even though I bitched about the whole Leia thing, those last 2 episodes made up for all of that, because I was like, okay, this is what I came here for. I want to see the almost final chapter of these 2 characters, and Obi-Wan officially being like, I lost my brother, I lost him, he's officially gone. When Darth tells him, I am not your failure. You know, I killed Anakin. What's left is what you see.
Yeah. See, so... And I really, really enjoyed that. And if they were going to make something, and I know this may sound stupid, but I really wish they just make live action versions of the Darth Vader comic book series.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you're going to take something from this, like, take Darth Vader, and because, you know, he has, like, reasons why he is the way he is.
Yeah, the first, Charles Soule's first arc of Vader. Did he do the first? I know he's doing the current one, but the first arc they did for Marvel for Darth Vader was really fucking cool, because they started with it happens right after
66.
Yeah, after 66, and then he's slowly going through these little mini adventures of being tested by Palpatine, and then it finally comes all the way around where he's like, he accepts who he is, and he says, fuck Anakin. And then that weird thing of like, Palpatine, I made you, you know.
Yeah. Well, also the, like, it's you build that bridge, it makes a lot more understanding of why, like, because it would involve Boba Fett, which would be pretty cool, because that's how he finds out who Luke Skywalker is. You know, you go through that arc, and then he's just like, oh, who blew up the Death Star? I want to find out who it is. Goes to Boba Fett, and it's like, someone named Skywalker. And he's like, Skywalker! And he's like, oh, okay. So I was lied to by the person that I trusted the most, who was also a Dark Lord, but let's go beyond that.
So Palpatine.
So you told me that my wife died?
Well, you didn't tell me about my freaking kids.
Kid.
Well,
he only knew about the one at the time.
He's like, yes, the Empire's been paying the child support.
Yeah. But no, but it's like even some of the more, like how he gets his lightsaber, like how he goes and fights that gray Jedi, he kills him without a lightsaber, and then takes his lightsaber and makes it bleed. Like, there's so many cool things that are explained in the comic books that aren't explained in the movies that I would really love to see. And let's be honest, if it's Vader, you don't got to worry about the actor aging.
Yeah, and you know, there's a lot of things in between the original and the sequel trilogy, and it's just like, well, what's after? Because we keep going backwards. Like, for, you know, just...
Do you want Rey to be a mentor character to a new generation of Jedi?
I don't think we're ever going to see Rey, and maybe later on as a nostalgia thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's going to happen because I know Daisy Ridley has gotten a little bit of the curse along with John Boyega. The only person that's made out is
Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
which is funny because that's how the original one went too.
Yeah,
where
Harrison Ford was
they're human stand-in, not the Jedi or the, well, I guess both of them are probably Jedi in this one. But yeah, that's hilarious to me.
And John Boyega having such a bad taste in his mouth after the Rise of Skywalker.
Well, I'll be honest, like he got shafted for most of it. We're talking about like, oh, they didn't do anything. Like, okay, first movie Rey did something. Second movie they tried to force Finn to do something, but it was something that made absolutely no difference whatsoever. It wasn't. No.
No, it's because like I don't know what they were trying to accomplish with the whole fact that like, hey, let's team him up with this person, and he's supposed to learn something from this person, and God, this. It's a fucking memory that'll burn inside my head. When she makes him crash.
Yeah, when she pretty much ship tackles him when he's trying to sacrifice himself to blow up the Death Star laser. Which, let's be honest, there were better ways they could have done that. There were legitimately better ways she could have done that.
What was the stupid line? War, love, or something like that.
I thought it was something about sacrifice isn't worth it if we're just sacrificing ourselves for nothing or something like that. Like something really stupid.
Love was in there. I know the word love was in there. And I'm like, this is war. Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, it's also like, it's from that point on, he makes almost no difference in the entirety of the plot that couldn't be just replaced by some other character.
Yeah. And like, especially in the next one. And then that weird like subplot of like, oh yeah, we're other troopers who are kind of force sensitive, and we just got out, and and really nothing on them, and that weird creepiness at the end where Lando's like,
I don't know my people. Well, let's find out. And you're like,
what does that mean? But I am excited. There's a new book out. It's called I forgot the name, something Sith, but it talks about Luke and Lando going after that dagger. So their little adventure there. So we get a little bit. I'm gonna get a little bit of backstory there. It doesn't matter at this point, but it's just something I was like, okay, I want to see a Luke and Lando team up, especially in current canon.
Yeah, no, it's just so hard when you're just like, look, I would love to have all these stories about Luke and all these stories about Leia and all these stories about Han, but stories is all they need to be. Don't adapt it for a movie. Like I do feel like Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, obviously, which is a sad thing to say, but in Harrison Ford, no more on the screen stuff for them, because it kind of demysticizes the stuff as you have these people. Like it's this thing where it's the Undertaker again. Where you just
keep using him
because he's an established name that everybody loves, and you just watch him get older and older, and it's just harder to watch. It's the same thing with Patrick Stewart. Like, I love Patrick Stewart. Sir Patrick Stewart is probably my favorite actor from my youth, more than Mark Hamill, more than anybody else. He is probably my favorite actor, and now I see him on screen, and I'm just like, please stop. If you love this, what?
I've been trying to make you watch Picard.
Yeah. Which is why that's not working, is because it absolutely shreds my heart. It's like Logan, but he's supposed to look old in Logan, and that's for a reason. But it's like all of this current stuff with Star Trek, and
hold on, you got a busy street, my friend.
Oh. But it's all of this stuff that with these older actors coming back again and again and again. And if they really love it, that's awesome. But me as a consumer, I just watch that. Me as a fan, too, I just watch that, and it just hurts my heart every time I see these people getting older and older and
Someone
older.
talked about recasting, and I was like, I think we tried that with Solo.
We also tried that with X-Men.
Yeah, we tried that before. I'm talking about with Star Wars. Remember like, the sacrilege of Solo and stuff like that. And another actor who got the curse, even though he was playing somebody that got out of the curse. But he...
I actually don't... Who is the actor from that? I don't remember his name.
Alden Eldrick? I know it's something of that nature.
Yeah. But it's all of this stuff, though, where, you look at these actors as they're getting older and older and older, and they're, yes, their purpose is to play an older actor, But it's just, as that role, it really demysticizes it. And it's really hard to watch. And you know what? If they keep doing it, that's fine on them. I'm just going to stop watching it, unfortunately. And it's what they're doing with the universe too. Is when we were younger, like, there was the Legends comics.
Yeah.
And there were the Legends books.
Books.
And that was cool. But if you just wanted to watch Star Wars as a single entity, you just had, 3 to 6 episodes depending on what the year was.
Yeah.
And that was all there was. You got to make speculation about...
Or when the special features dropped. Remember how, and all the little tidbits of that, when that came out. And I remember being like, watching that little documentary, that little snippet and starting, oh yeah, we changed this, blah, 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 blah. Then you watch, you're like, it doesn't look as good, But still, there was things that kept our imaginations going, because there was a dark time when there was no Star Wars. Mm-hmm. Now we have more Star Wars than ever now.
That's not a problem, though, having not as much of it, because it allows you to feel connected to the parts there are.
Yeah, because what's next? We got Andor, and then Ahsoka's just coming out.
Mm-hmm. The Republic fighter, what is it called?
I know Tales of the Jedi is a thing.
Yeah. No, there was the one that was going to have... What was her name? Gina Davis or whatever was gonna have her Republic Commando or whatever, but then they recast it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. The not Rangers.
I thought it was Republic something.
I know what you're talking about. That yeah, Gina Carano's show. Yeah. She ain't getting that back.
Yeah, no, but
Mando season 3.
Yeah.
Why'd you say yeah? I want more Mando. I think that was one of the best things they've put out.
It is, but. Do we want them to keep putting more and more out until it starts sucking horrendously?
I think Favreau and Filoni won't let that happen, especially with that character. Because this... you could tell the differences with these shows, especially, I feel the love and tenderness of the Mando show than with the Boba Fett show. You had Rodriguez's hands in it. Robert Rodriguez. So... you could tell there was a different style of what they were trying to do with that show.
Yeah, but the Mando used to have a different director in every single episode.
Yeah, but the creative team, you would give somebody a show and be like, okay, this person's going to direct, this person's going to direct, but I am the ultimate creator of this, and I approve yes or no. Like how George stepped back from directing after the first one because he was like, that sucked. I don't want to do that again. I'm going to be a producer. I'm going to be the writer. I'm going to be the guy...
It still doesn't stop it over time, because if you look at, DC, or you look at some of the stuff that Marvel has released in the more recent times with Kevin Feige, and you're just trying to put stuff out now. You don't care as much about the quality. The people that have to care about it are the directors, and you get a lot of people that are just like, this is a payday. I'm just going to use this. Or they listen to what they're like, this is the intended idea of what the MCU is supposed to be. And I don't care. This is my movie. That to me is Eternals in a nutshell.
Fuck
is where
Eternals.
Have you even seen it?
Huh?
Have you even seen it yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
No, when it came out in theaters, you were just like, should I go see it? And I was like,
no, we watched it as soon as it hit Disney Plus. And afterwards, I was like...
Right, you bought it, too.
No, well, I bought it before I saw it. You went to go see it, and you're like, ah! And I was like, oh, well, I ordered the Steelbook. You're like, I ordered the Steelbook, too. And then they hit Disney Plus, and we watched out Disney Plus, and me and the wife were like, this sucks ass. Yeah. And then, fast forward, months later, totally forgot about it.
It showed up.
It showed up, and I was like, oh, yeah. I ordered this paperweight.
Well, but it's. There are a few movies that have come out that you're just like, okay, well, it's awesome that you got to express your creative intent. Too bad your creative intent does not fit the tone or anything to this universe. To be completely fair, that's also Doctor Strange in a nutshell too.
No, and that's the thing. That's why I was talking about with some coworkers. I was like, where are we going? It's just like, okay, here's a cool adventure, blah, blah, this happens, no one really learns anything, here you go, all right, on to the next movie. And it's like, well, we used to build the things because Kang the Conqueror was mentioned a long time ago. Y'all never mentioned him again.
Nope.
And we got Loki season 2 coming around the corner, and it's just like, what now? And it's to what you're saying. making content just to make content because they got a subscription service they have to keep going, and throwing characters who they hope stick. Because I'm hearing terrible things about She-Hulk, you know. And
well, I mean, you look at it from our perspective. Well, the first one we got, WandaVision, that was good. That was good, but if you look at it as a story leading into anything else, it led into Doctor Strange, but it only led into Doctor Strange in like the last 2 episodes.
Well, it led into Doctor Strange after a long period of time of not watching WandaVision. Like, because somebody asked me, he's like, do I need to watch anything before I see Doctor Strange? I was like, you need to watch WandaVision, just so you can get, like, why she's crazy at this point.
But it's only the end, like, it's see, the funny thing is, it's only, like, the last 30 seconds of the movie in the end credit trailer that has anything really to do with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, because, technically speaking, up until that point when she was reading the Darkhold, she got over everything. And then it goes back to that, and you're just like, oh, okay, I guess we learned no lessons because of an evil book.
Yeah, so we got Thor.
Yeah.
And I hope Thor...
I'm not as worried about Thor as most of the other ones, simply because of Taika Waititi. Like, Ragnarok, he did a very good job of giving his own touch to it while still kind of leading into what Marvel's sort of been making Thor into.
Oh, man. Taika's on my strike list already. Because in the movie Free Guy, remember, I hated
You did hate Free
his
Guy.
fucking character.
Yeah.
And
No,
okay.
Go ahead.
In Lightyear, I didn't know he was in Lightyear.
I haven't seen Lightyear yet.
And his character is the guy that fucks up everything, which I understand. You got to have the character for comedy, sake to fuck up things and whatnot, but not every fucking 10 seconds you fuck up something over and over again, and it stops being funny, and you're like, stop fucking up. And then at the end of the movie, I was complaining about it to the wife, and she goes, that was Taika, right? And I'm like, wow.
How did you not know that was Taika? Taika doesn't do a voice. Taika sounds like Taika all the time.
I think it was more or less everything this character did. I was like,
please don't be Taika. Please don't be what my brain is telling me.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck? God, quit fucking up. I know every fuck up is leading to push the story in a weird way, but it's dumb.
Yeah.
Well,
and I am hoping, because his artistic touch is very good. I really
give me more
enjoyed
directing
that.
Taika. Don't give me acting Taika.
Well, and that's why I hope Korg is not a huge part of this movie.
That was my worry. That's my worry.
And it really seems like he's not. It seems like he's going to be more background to Thor's story and Jane's story. And yeah, he is going to be there, but I'm just hoping it's not Korg starring Thor. And that's, if he does that, then yes, he will be on my shit list. It will be, so he's that kind of selfish director where you see other directors put themselves in their movies and they do it as a side character that, may affect the plot a little bit, but isn't overshadowing everyone. My favorite, who's your favorite director who's in their own movies?
Favorite director that's in their own movies?
Yeah,
starring roles or something like that?
Well, it doesn't have to be starring roles.
Rocky?
Is Sylvester Stallone?
Well, Stallone didn't direct the first one. He directed the 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, is that your favorite actor who is in their own movies?
That's a big question. That's a good podcast, though.
Mine is Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks, in his own movies, his movies are delightfully hysteric, but he never puts himself as such a big role that he overshadows any part of the movie. So that is what I feel like someone who is directing the movie and is in their own movie should be. Now, exception being Gran Torino with Eastwood. He's supposed to be the main character in his movie, and okay, he's got to have a bigger part in all of it. But it's just, you look at other people who put themselves in their own movies, and like Taika in Free Guy, I completely understand why that would annoy the crap out of you, because I didn't like his character either. I thought if there had been less Taika, if he'd been the nerd friend, not the main bad guy, I think I would have enjoyed him more.
Yeah, because it made no fucking sense.
No, he was just being evil for the sake of being evil.
Yeah.
So if you'd put someone who was, put Mark Strong.
Yeah.
Mark Strong can be evil in anything he wants to be evil.
But they were trying to be like, here's the gamer nerd evil guy. I was like,
well, then get Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, he'll do fucking fantastic.
He'll do great.
Yeah.
But back to Kenobi.
I give the whole show overall 7 out of 10.
I give it a 7 out of 10 too. It's so if we're just going the last 2 episodes, like a 9 out of 10.
Oh fuck yeah! If it was, I can rewatch those last 2 episodes all the time.
I have to say, I think, and you can argue with me on this one if you want, but I think the actor with the most good lightsaber battles is Ewan McGregor.
Oh yeah,
Like episode 1, amazing. Episode 2, Episode 3, amazing. The Obi-Wan series, amazing. Like that is probably my favorite lightsaber
when he
battle.
went into his pose with the 2 fingers, I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
His stand 3,
Yeah,
or his
yeah,
third form.
yeah. I was like,
Form
"Do
3.
it, Obi! Do it, Obi!"
Yeah.
And then when he went fucking OP with the rocks and everything like that, I was like, "Man, I've never been this satisfied seeing Obi-Wan this OP."
I would have loved if he'd been on top of the rocks as they were floating. Anakin, I've got the high ground again.
You son of a bitch!
That's the first and only time you see in live Vader actually use Force lightning. Ah!
Why'd you lose to him? You had the high ground.
Yeah,
I don't like the high ground.
But no, I mean, I think, and it's I think anything about the story in the last episode got so overshadowed with that fight, because the whole thing with Reva on Tatooine, I was just like, after that high of that fight, yeah, I was just like, I don't care. We know he's gonna live. The question is, are you gonna die? Or are you gonna live?
I was like, because when that happened, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. There's more story to this.
Yeah.
I don't care. Can I just get more of that?
It's like, oh hey, we're dropping her off on Alderaan. Don't care. You have.
And I totally was just like, come fucking on with the whole like, I can't do it. I need forgiveness. I'm like, you know what? I think you are one of those characters that I really didn't like at the starting. I was like, okay. She's very, very evil. But then when she pulls back that hard to be like, forgive me, and I'm like,
oh, when you were saying I need forgiveness, I thought you were talking about Obi-Wan talking to Anakin for a second. I was like, what are you on about that? That was a really
Reva.
good moment. Yeah, no, Reva didn't earn it. And now, like, that doesn't mean, I mean, that'd be a slideshow I wouldn't mind watching necessarily. It would be
I'm
a
actually
Reva.
good. I don't want that.
You don't want a Reva?
I don't want a Reva show.
I think it'd be weird if she becomes more of like a gray Jedi and she tries to help some Jedi and defeat some of the Inquisitors. Now, the problem with the Inquisitors in general is all the stuff that happens in Rebels and stuff like that, because between Rebels and
I'm excited characters from Rebels are showing up.
yeah, but between Rebels, because you've got Ahsoka's show, and Ahsoka had a lot to do with the Rebels in the later season. Still haven't watched it, just know this.
You should.
But no, but the Inquisitors pretty much have, like, there's a hit list of when each of them die. Like,
Yeah.
unless you're going to introduce a bunch of new Inquisitors, which would kind of defeat the purpose.
You know what I want? Give me the Knights of Ren. Because they were so fucking wasted. And remember how we're like, the Knights of Ren, that's so metal. Like,
I never actually had that thought, to be completely
oh, really?
honest.
I was like...
You were on about it, because
Yeah.
you collected them for a while, didn't you?
Yeah, and I was like the way they looked, and this and that, and then really wasted in the... Well, introduced in the first one. Second one, nothing.
Nothing at
Then
all.
they're like, we're back!
Hey, we're back to, oh my god, we're dying to Kylo.
Yeah.
Or to Ben now.
Because I need a hero.
Yeah. Gosh, what was the best lightsaber duel in the sequel trilogy? I don't know if there even was a good one.
No. Kylo and Rey and Last Jedi. Versus each other.
Oh.
That was a pretty... That's the only good thing I can say about that movie.
When did they lightsaber duel against each other in The Last Jedi?
It's after he kills Snoke.
No, that's not versus each other. That is versus all of the Red Guard.
Is it? See, I
Because how that battle goes is...
Oh, yeah, they battle the Red Guard.
Yeah.
And then he's like, join me.
And then they have the fight over the lightsaber, but that's Force. That's not using the lightsaber. There was no lightsaber to lightsaber duel.
You know what's funny is Last Jedi, I've only seen it 2.5 times.
I've seen it once.
Yeah.
I went through a Star Wars rewatch, and I made it to watching everything, made it to Rogue One, and went, I don't care anymore. Actually, no.
I saw it with you.
Is Solo before Rogue One?
So it was after Rogue One.
Okay.
Oh no, before. It's before.
Whatever one of those
Wait
two
a
came
minute, you mean
first.
release-wise?
No. I know it came out after, continuity-wise. That came before Rogue.
Yeah, it's before Rogue.
So yeah, I didn't make it past. I made it through the prequel, or the prequel trilogy, and then Solo. And I was like, nope, I'm good.
And back to Obi-Wan Kenobi. 7 out of 10.
Yeah, we both set our 7s. I was just saying that lightsaber in that duel made me rethink all the lightsaber duels in Star Wars, and it really got me thinking that another thing that the sequel trilogy really kind of failed at was lightsaber duels. Like we would not say that about the prequel trilogy. For all of the weird feelings of the prequel trilogy,
Even Yoda had a fucking badass moment.
yeah, which was really weird if you think about it in the big scope of things, but it was really awesome.
And how we went limp afterwards.
And then, because each movie, the first and third movie, he has that, or the second and third movie, when he fights Dooku, and then when he fights Sidious, you're like, why can't you be like this all the time? Why do you need a cane?
You pull my hip every time.
Hip dislocated 360 degrees. Look straight it does, but is not.
Pulls up his pants like, oh!
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, after this car rolls by, let us know what you think of Obi-Wan Kenobi's Part 5, Part 6. Drop your comments below. I hope you enjoyed this conversation.
If you have anything to say about what we were saying, too, any comments about, all the other tangents we want, feel free to leave those, too.
Yeah. Love it or hate it. We're getting more Star Wars in the future. But after that, you're going to like and subscribe. You're going to share with your grandma, share with your grandpa, share with the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB the Sexy Ninja.
And I'm Doug.
Welcome to the wicked shit.
Oh, yeah.